Is warning of a record-breaking heat wave headed for the Greenway region this weekend. So you all make sure to layer up and keep yourselves cool out there. Right now, we got another lineup of great country tunes coming your way. Let us keep you company with your favorites, and keep that dial here on CKCM Greenway Country Radio 93.5 FM.
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Rural Canada A. I want to thank everybody so much for all the participation in the polls that I've done. I was looking for a lot of feedback, and I got it, which was awesome. So I've decided with this one, we're going to incorporate a lot of the stuff that all of you had shared as well. So expect a lot more talking. I'd been watching a lot of Strict Toasters and Nidal and Flux Trance as just kind of a throwback. I really miss those two, and yeah, I don't know, it'd be really cool to see them return at some point as well. But yeah, I've been watching their videos and just sort of taking inspiration from it, as well as many of the current content creators for City Skylines. Been very, I don't know, very inspirational, you know? So what you're seeing on screen here is the beginning of the neighborhood. That's going to be the main focal point of this. I got really inspired by a place in the Okanagan that I go, and if anybody's been to the Okanagan, which also actually, before I dive into that tangent, I forgot I wanted to ask this at the start of the video. I want to hear from all of you. Where's everybody from that's watching the videos? I love sort of connecting over the places we live in or the places we've been to, so let me know in the comments below. Where are you watching this video from? In the Okanagan, there's a place called Tap-In, and they have something called the Tap-In Co-op. I'm actually very curious to see if anybody knows this place. I'm going to put it on screen for all of you here. It has some of the thickest, biggest, most tasty ice cream cones that I have ever had. That place slaps, and it's at this random gas station in the middle of nowhere, honestly. And the only reason I know about it is my parents used to have a cabin up on Big Shoe Swap and then later moved to Little Shoe Swap Lake. And we would go for ice cream because it was close, I think. I don't know. It felt close as a kid. My parents would take me for ice cream there, me and my siblings. It was a lot of fun. But yeah, I don't know. Cool place. It'd be very cool to know if anybody knows it and knows exactly what I'm talking about. Which again relates back to the question. Let me know where all of you, the question of the video, right? Let me know where all you are watching from. So on screen, while I'm not doing a one-to-one recreation of it, I am trying to sort of, you know, capture the essence of it and the feels of it. It's also really funny watching this footage back and recording this commentary. You will see lots of parts. I probably could have edited them out, and maybe I will in the future. You'll see lots of parts where I pause the game, or not pause the game, but the game like stops. I stop doing what I'm doing on screen, and that's because I'm looking at the Tap-In Co-op for inspiration on Google Maps. Right now, what you see me doing is I'm trying to mess around with the ruin textures. I don't like ruin textures in the game. I really don't like them. I wish the game didn't have ruin textures at all, but it is what it is, and we got to work with it. I think I end up going here with La Viante, which is actually the recommended theme by Greyflame when you subscribe to this map, the map Greenway. So I go with La Viante. I like the look of it generally. La Viante is one of my favorite themes of all time, but I don't think I've settled on a ruin texture that I entirely, enjoy or like. We're going to try and get set up with this little area here that's going to be a forested area, and I had a really hard time finding some dry grass assets. I know that Delmo does, but I believe Delmo actually listed them as deprecated, if I'm correct, recently. He does have Mountain Grass 3, which is absolutely amazing, but none of it is that dry grass look that you see from the Okanagan. And yes, if I recall, his old ones have it, or that have that look that I'm going for, are deprecated. But luckily, I find this asset here scaling it down using prop control, I'm able to make it fit in this area, and those are grass scaled assets by Not Done Yet. They look really, really heckin' good, and a great way to add some detail to it. I'm going to be using these all over the build because, yeah, they are just absolutely perfect for this. They've got that dry grass look. They fill it very nicely. I don't know. Absolutely amazing job. Not done yet. You slap. But you know that. I say that every time you stop by the the live streams on Twitch. Eh? So I'm just going to try and fill this area in with lots of the little bit of underbrush and grass. These areas in real life are extremely forested. I'll show you on screen here where I'm drawing the inspiration from this area. I've actually driven past it many times on different trips out through the Okanagan. Again, grew up in Kamloops, was born in Vancouver, grew up in Kamloops, and I'm now back living in Vancouver, but I've got so much experience with the Okanagan and the many towns that make it up, which is why I chose to do this project. A little slice of my childhood for all of you. Really loving these Ponderosa trees by Grey Flame. They are absolutely stunning. The texture work on it, I mean, we can all agree, if you've used a Grey Flame tree, no matter which one it is, you know the quality of work that you're getting. It would be really cool to see if Grey Flame makes a comeback for City Skylines 2. I've heard lots of people have said that they're going to be making a comeback, whether that be to asset creation or modding for City Skylines 2, and it has me extremely, extremely excited for it. I cannot wait. Like, honestly, I cannot wait for City Skylines 2. And speaking of City Skylines 2, I'm going to try and see if I can do something to tie this series in. There's no way that this series will be done by the time City Skylines 2 comes out, but I want to see if I can tie this series in somehow to City Skylines 2, whether that be, you know, name references, something. But make sure to smash that subscribe button for all City Skylines content. That's all we do here. It's all I'm ever going to do. City Skylines all day. Best game ever. Filling this in with some low poly Douglas fir trees here as well. Really like the look of it. And Grey Flame has multiple sizes, which is just so clutch. Again, I can't say enough good things about Grey Flame. An incredibly talented creator. And not just because Grey Flame happens to, you know, focus most of their work on the area in nature that I'm familiar with of the Pacific Northwest and the Okanagan, but in general, they're really talented. I tried adding some blue spruces. You'll see me delete them here. I love blue spruces, but they just, I don't know, they looked out of place here. Even though what's funny is there actually were blue spruces in the actual, also watching this back now, I forgot to delete one, eh? There's one in there that I forgot to delete. That's dope. It's right, eh? Oh no. Well, one of the blue spruces lives. I don't think I actually deleted it. I'm gonna check that when I launch into the game to work on episode 7 after recording this. That's so funny. Ah man, the things you see in hindsight, eh? So I'm just gonna clean up the edges here because visibility is a key thing in these spots. I want to make sure that it's visible for cars in both directions to see it because it's not traffic light controlled, right? The traffic that would be entering the highway has to yield to highway traffic, right? Highway traffic gets priority, and this is to keep the flow going through the intersection, right? So I do really want to make sure that visibility is key there because you will have the foliage stripped back in these places to give you clear visibility. You're going to see me adding power lines, and these ones I believe are by Jack Skellington. I hope I'm saying that name correct. Jack Skellington makes, hands down, the most realistic looking, phenomenal power line assets. They are just, man, spot on. Like, that person must work, like, with power. I mean, I guess you could just be, like, a nerd for power. that sounds, not like power lines. Not like power, you know, but power lines. And, yeah, they look amazing is what I'm trying to say. There we go. We get back on track there, Moose. Love the look of it. This build as a whole, if I'm being honest, this build, this whole series in general, I just got to throw it out there. I think rural city building in City Skylines, while being some of the most rewarding, is absolutely some of the hardest. Rural building, and I don't even know if hard is the right word, it's extremely time consuming. There's so many details and so many things that go into a realistic rural city that you have to consider that just, they are absolute time suckers. They suck the time. It takes extremely long. Like this build took so much longer than I anticipated, and we're back up with another thick episode today, but yeah, they consume so much time. I love it, though. It's absolutely rewarding, and you'll see at the end here, but this build ends up being probably one of my favorites so far. I really like the A&W one from the last episode, but I do believe that this ends up being my favorite one so far. It just ends up looking heckin' amazing. Like, absolutely heckin' amazing. So you'll see me here now just bobbing this highway. This is rural highways from Hockenheim, and they are just perfect for capturing that look of the Okanagan. You'll see me here doing nothing, yet again, looking at Google Maps for inspiration. Those pauses are funny, man. I probably should have cut them out, but I don't know. I keep it real with all you. This is what city building's like. Yeah, the footage is sped up, but not even really that much. It's just giving you a taste of sort of how long these builds take. There's just so much that goes into it. And even with my knowledge, you know, growing up in a suburb like this and growing up on, you know, in a town that's right off the highway, right? Exactly like Greenway is. I don't know. There's just so much to factor in to really capture that look. And I know Ami Polizei Funk, I hope I said that correctly, in his episode of City Builders, phenomenal series, by the way, check it out, done by City Skylines as well, too. He mentions the feels right test. When it feels right in City Skylines.
When I nail it, you know, that, like when you're building something, when you're making an asset or you're putting a tree or a fence, or if you get like enough of the right things in the right places, it passes what I call the feels right test. Does it feel right? You know, like if you do it all wrong, it just won't feel right. But then if you nail it, you get this, it's an incredible feeling.
And I really resonated with that. A lot of times I build stuff that reminds me of home, and yeah, whether that be home now for Vancouver or home in the Okanagan here. And when it feels right and it just feels like, you know, it triggers some emotional response, right? There is nothing better than that. And I feel like that's kind of the high that makes this game so addictive. You know, you build something out and you just get a connection from it, whether that be an emotional response or whatever. You feel tied to your project. It's your project. It's your city. There's nobody telling you what to do. You are the mayor. You are the one deciding that, and it makes this game amazing. You can hand the same map to two different people, and you're going to get a different result, and it's all based off of our real-world experiences. I just absolutely love this game so much. So now we're finally getting to work on this shell. I didn't have a co-op asset. Surprisingly, there wasn't any. I mean, not surprisingly, nobody knows about it except Canadians, but surprisingly, there's none on the workshop. There's a Petro-Canada, but it's super old. I don't know. This shell looked amazing. Modestero did a phenomenal job on it. Detailing this again, I thought this was going to be so much simpler than it was, but the more I looked at these rural gas stations, the more I realized like they're heckin' time consuming. There's so much that goes into it to make it look realistic. There's so much that needs to be done to really capture that feel and pass the quote feels right test. It ended up becoming way more than I thought from the start there, but, you know, we get it looking good, and you'll see in the ending cinematics, which I encourage all of you to stick around for. I really, really have been enjoying the ending cinematics lately, but especially this one. There's some really cool shots. I also wanted to, which I completely forgot to do at the start of the episode, my apologies, I want to give a huge shout out to Scotland Tom, an amazing member of the community and of the live streams. Scotland Tom is a voice actor by trade, that's his day job, and he is the voice that you heard at the start of the episode there. So huge shout out to Scotland Tom. Thank you so much for coming on board and providing your lovely voice for the city of Greenway. I imagine that he'll be making a return in some of these episodes, so if you really like the intro, like I did, expect to see more of radio DJ Scotland Tom running Greenway's, I almost said Kamloops, running Greenway's country radio. I'm trying to provide more lore as well, too. I've heard a lot of feedback and people really enjoying the lore that we've been sort of including in the intros as well, too. Expect more from that. Trying to incorporate it, like how do I incorporate storytelling, but also live play and time-lapse commentary, and weave it all into a video that's under 30 minutes while, you know, growing out the city and growing out the people within it. So it's a work in progress, and, you know, we'll figure it out as we go. Again, I want to hear from all of you. Let me know what you think of this video. Put an emphasis on commentary versus just time-lapse with music. I had so many people say that this is what they wanted, and, well, I'm a moose of the people. I give the people what they want. Plus, also watching like Night All back, I was like, yeah, let's full send some commentary, shall we? I tried messing with these curves as well. Really wanted to include that rounded piece, but I just couldn't end up making it work. Maybe I could have PO'd it, but I think it would have been more mess and just way too time-consuming for the end image. But, oh, right. It doesn't even matter. Ignore everything I said. Right. I did actually solve this because the network. Now, I could hear people screaming, oh my god, that's nodes, though. That's nodes. The node limit. Yeah, luckily for me, we'll never hit the node limit because likely this series will transfer over to City Skylines 2 by the time we, by the time we would even get close to a node limit, So, it is what it is. But yeah, this ends up being a lifesaver. These curves, because they round, like, I don't know. This is honestly how I'm going to be doing all of them from now on. It's so much better. It saves so much heckin' time. So I'm very, very excited on it. Wish I had been doing it from the start because it makes it so much easier to line it up. These don't need to be symmetrical. Real cities aren't perfect. Step outside, look at any road. Like, my gosh, I was driving around Vancouver this past weekend, and even just going from a bike ride. I go for a bike ride around Stanley Park every Saturday, and even just biking around Stanley Park, being like, man, cities aren't perfect. Like, why am I chasing this perfection in City Skylines, It's got to be symmetrical, or it's got to be this and that. That's just not what cities are. Cities are really messy. The bunch of people making decisions, so much that comes into the end product that, like, they're messy. We're humans. We ain't perfect. It's, real cities are messy. So why am I chasing perfection, I should be chasing mess. So I'm going to try and, make it a rule to myself going forward. Messy city, good city. Within reason. There's some areas, modern day suburbia that's very symmetrical and perfect, but we're talking about like rural Canada here in the Okanagan. Nah, it's a mess. It's a great, wonderful mess, So here I am just filling in these corners. Again, this just ended up taking so much more time, man. I don't know, these rural builds are going to be... They're honestly, I love rural city building. As much as I like building Vancouver and Vancouver-inspired cities, I am kind of falling in love with rural building. Like, this has been... Yeah, I don't know. It's very rewarding, very time-consuming. Also, you saw right there on screen the error message. Let me know, are all of you guys, like, all of you listening, are all of you getting a bunch of, like, error messages? The error message is that classic one, null reference, I believe it is. I get it all the time since the latest updates, and I have no idea. It doesn't break the game, and the simulation seems fine, but yeah, I don't know. Don't know what's causing it. I get them all the time since the last updates. Again, it's not breaking anything, so I'm not too concerned. You see me here messing with the median. These assets are insane. They're so useful. And the funny thing is, they're just a vanilla median. I found out about using them as sidewalks to craft more realistic sidewalks, especially on highways and sidewalks that go nowhere, right? That are kind of pointless, but that's just how cities are sometimes. And I found out about it from Creative Dex, which is really cool. Dex has so many great ideas, man. I got to talk to Dex on Instagram as well. Dude's been an absolute legend. So helpful in helping me, with my silly questions. And Dex has got easily one of the most realistic cities out there. And I know Dex is probably a huge inspiration for many of us as well, too, right? So, yeah, messed with it with Node Controller. And right there, I figure out exactly how to do it. So push the nodes together and then plus them out. And you get this really nice curve on it. Do it one more time here. You'll see it here. Yeah, look at that curve, eh? I love a good sidewalk curve. Ends up making this look awesome. The cool thing about this shell is it has a washroom on the back as well, too. So that's just like, yeah, let's go. All of these have washrooms. They're on a rural highway, people need to stop. I'm also thinking, so I went back and I started binging. Man, I binged so much stuff this past weekend and this week as inspiration for this episode, but I started binge watching Design Candy's Cranberry County, I believe it's called. Yo, Design Candy, I've seen you around, man. I hope you come back. Your commentary, you as a creator, and same for you, Flux and Strict Toaster. I'm sure there's probably no way any of you are watching this video, but you never know, right? Maybe they stumble upon it somehow. Flux, Strict, Design Candy, come back. We need you. Y'all are so talented, man. Y'all are such an inspiration for me, and be really cool to see a return. I know, I know Strict was teasing about return for City Skylines 2 on Twitter, but that would be so sick to have you come back. And yeah, so I was watching Cranberry County because it relates to this series a lot. I know different inspirations for it. They're honestly similar, you know. Rural is rural, right? And my God, dude, what a series, first off. But yeah, it gave me some inspiration, and I've got kind of an idea for some builds. Like, definitely want to do a truck stop. I think that'd be so fire, doing a truck stop somewhere. The only assets that we have that really sell the look of it is Love's Travel Center, which is not at all a thing in, like here, in the Canadas. So I might use them anyway. Who cares? Welcome to City Skylines. You use what you can. Maybe I can mess with them or something to make them look like more like what we have is oh man, I'm blanking on the name of it. But Editing Moose will absolutely find it. Flying J, that's it. Flying J. I figured it out. I'm pretty sure that's it. But anyways, you're seeing it on screen, and so if I'm wrong, it is what it is. Here I am lining up the planter to try and see, try and get it to work here. Now these planters so useful that you can use node controller on it. It makes this whole thing kind of doable. But these are the new planters from Avanya that can be raised up. They have very decent height, amazing textures on it. But best of all, they use bark, right? And bark, mulch, whatever you want to call it. Bark and mulch are different, yeah? I don't know. They all look very similar. But anyways, mulch and bark are very commonly used for, whether that be like tree planters and just landscaping detailing in the Okanagan. So common. Love what this truck is doing. Also, that truck, by the way, is from a new pack. It's a new pack. I think I'm trying to find... Yeah, right there. Right there. I'm trying to find out the license plate. Is that an Arizona driver? I don't know. Let me know below. Was that a classic Arizona driver? I don't know. Anyways, it is what it is, you know. Love the little props that we got here for the shell. I think those ones are by Kano. I don't think the Modicero one comes with props. So useful. And I think it reflects the price of gas. I don't know if it's like what it is here for any of you, but y'all, gas is kind of insane. It's kind of insane. I don't know. It's yeah, it's kind of hell. You're going to see me do some detailing attempts here, and everything I'm about to do here on screen I'm going to go back on because it just looks so bad. Like, I don't know what I was thinking. Like here I was like, it kind of looks okay, right? Yeah, this kind of looks okay. It's going to turn horrible. Like, it becomes so sussy. It's not my finest work, I'll tell you that. Look at all this effort I'm putting in. Like, Moose, stop. Stop. I'm trying to save you, past Moose. Don't do it. Because I'm going to put one around, and this just ruins. This is when I'm like, yeah, nah, this ain't it. Right here. Yeah, no. So we eat it all, and we're just going to slap in some classic desert plants. Delmo came out with some awesome sage that is just... Pretty much everything Delmo's been doing lately has been so useful for this build, oddly enough. It's, I'm sure it's probably like Australian inspiration. I know we used that a lot. Also, I got annoyed with those cars and what they were doing. I end up figuring it out off camera. It was TMPE that was causing it. What I needed to do, or not TMPE, it's the simulation doing what the simulation will do. Realistic parking. There was like a bunch of stuff, actually. There was a bunch of stuff that in TMP I ended up turning on, but realistic parking prevents within reason pocket cars, and so like the cars that vanish when a citizen reaches its destination, because now they had to calculate parking thanks to TMPE, and it also prevents them sort of pulling the car out there, right? Their pocket, you know, their pocket cars, and so. Yeah, I turned that on and it solved that issue. It didn't solve all of it, as you'll see. Actually, in the live play coming up, you're going to see sort of what ends up happening. And they're still being sus, basically, is the thing. They're still being very sus, but sus within reason. Like, you know, it ends up being not as bad. It's still bad, but, you know, not as bad. But yeah, as we near the end of the video, again, I want to thank you all so much for the support. I'm probably going to say it too many times, but the growth of the channel and the support from all of you in this little part of the, the YouTube sphere has been so heckin' cool, and I appreciate it so much from every single one of you. Again, remember to like, comment, and subscribe if you want to. It really does help out the channel so heckin' much. And yeah, hop on the Discord, check out a live stream on Twitch. We'll be streaming on YouTube if we hit 1K subscribers. So yeah, that's our first YouTube goal. I've never really set them out, but yeah, that's our YouTube goal, 1K. Really excited for it. This is just me detailing up the shell and making sort of those final little pieces that really sell it. Like you're gonna see here at the end, oh man, these decals and this detailing, it helps so much. Decals are an absolute game changer when it comes to building, and especially rural builds. Man, they really sell this end product, and I'm really happy with this. Like I said before, I think this is probably my favorite build that we've done so far. I might mess with those landscaping decals. Here you're going to see a cool trick. If a decal, they'll always bleed up on a network, convert it to PO, and you can get the decal to show underneath the network, which is really useful for these exposed concrete decals. Grab it, convert it to PO, raise it up slightly, boom, there it is underneath it. Looks absolutely amazing too. It adds so much to the build in here. Man, I'm stoked on this build. I'm honestly stoked on this whole project. I'm stoked on all of you coming through and vibing as well. Before we hop into the live play as well, probably said this like too many times, I don't know. This is a lot of fun too. Expect videos to be like this going forward. Let me know where all of you are watching from. I love that kind of stuff. And yeah, let me know if any of you know the Tappan Co-op in beautiful Tappan in the Okanagan. Yeah, I don't know. Would be curious. I'll it'd be so cool if anybody actually does know it. That'd be super lit. But and then we're just gonna add some oil decals here, sink them into the ground there, just a little bit. Like the decals are too big for what it actually looks like, but you know, it is what it is. These patch decals here as well too. Holy heck, they are like they like, look at that already. You can see it, but my God, now I can't do this everywhere because of performance, but they are a game changer. Like that's exactly what the highways look like, you know? Oh man, those phenomenal work by Ronix. So heckin' good. I had a little tire decal there. Maybe somebody took the turn too slow. something like that. We'll slide down some more decals here, but we're gonna slide into the old live play. So Moose 2, Future Moose or Past Moose, I don't know. Another Moose, me. But yeah, I'm gonna take over. I'm gonna take over from here, so I'll catch you all in the live play. So here we are back in the live play. Really happy with how this build turned out as well too. I think the shell looks absolutely amazing. Really reminds me of the ones in yeah, where I'm from, the beautiful Okanagan. The only thing is, I wish I could have found something. I mean, there's decals, but it was getting a bit too repetitive and didn't really look the way I wanted it to look, to make the edges more realistic, because I don't really have curbs here. It kind of just ends with yeah, with like the asphalt's damaged, meeting grass and lots of weeds and stuff. But I'm really happy with it. And those patched decals over the highway, like that just completely sells this look for me. Yeah, damn, I'm super stoked on it. Not the... Oh! Okay, well, that's kind of lit. Oh, damn, so I might have to move the props then, eh? The car parks at this... So this building's got, like, invisible parking spots then. That's actually kind of super smart. The only thing that I've noticed, though, is the people... Like, you're going to see what this guy does, yeah? And this lady as well, too, right? They're going to cut across the highway. Now, this does happen in Canadian rural Canada, you know, because it's not really, like, crosswalks. You kind of just, you know, is what it is. Like, right here, right? You cross into the suburb, but there's no crosswalk. You just kind of go when cars aren't there. But there's no option, right? If I come into TMPE here, there's no... I can't do anything to stop that. They're connecting, like, with this, I guess. I don't know. I can't stop it. Unless I made these fake. But I like things being functional as much as I can, you know? But yeah, I think this looks amazing. And we'll give you context on sort of where we are. So we are way out here in the map. That's downtown Greenway, where we've spent every episode, right? So we are way out here. Now I'm trying to make this more like the Okanagan because you don't really see like just flat open desert like this, you know? But, and it definitely seems like this map was inspired by, I'd say like Boise, Idaho. Like definitely Idaho for sure. But it also works super well for the Okanagan. I mean, they're very similar. Like they are very, very similar. But yeah, it works really well for the Okanagan. We just got to forest up these areas, right? And as we build more of these, it's going to sell the look of it a lot more. Yeah, just really happy with this. The suburbs, though, the buildings, I don't mind it. It's too repetitive because I only have 4 assets to choose from. So I might see if I can alter that at all. But yeah, I'm really happy with how this turned out. Really happy with this forested area as well, too. I think it looks amazing. Yeah, okay. Oh, it is what it is. And where's your dog's there, right? Your dog's just taken off. Dog's gone, eh? Classic Pugs, am I right? Yeah, so that's the build. Over on Twitch, we've been live streaming this now. I might have a plan for a YouTube live stream where I got lost. I might have a plan for a YouTube live stream. Is it going to be at 1K subscribers celebration? Potentially. So, you know, tell your family members, tell everybody. Hot rural cities action in your area. Let's hit 1K and y'all get a celebratory YouTube live stream. We've been live streaming this over on Twitch, link in the description below. And we were working on the suburbs, right? It's stuff that's kind of tedious that I'm not really going to film because it's not the best content. But I've been working on this over there and I'm really happy with it now. It's taken a few iterations to get the suburbs the way that I want, but this is the final one. It's going to stay. I'm not going to touch it. I'm really happy with how it's looking. And yeah, I got to touch up some of the roads and do some more detailing on it. But so far, like this view, oh yeah, with the highway ripping by, A&W, McDonald's, yeah, this is looking dope. Denny's over there. Yeah, this is rural Canada. I'm really vibing it. Thanks so much to everybody for checking out this episode as well, too. The support on the channel, the support on Twitch, just the support in general for the content I'm creating has been far-reaching my own expectations, and I'm so thankful for every single one of you here. If you want to connect further, I've got a link tree in the description below, which has everything: Discord, YouTube. Wait, you were on YouTube, but like Discord, mods, assets, all that stuff. I've got that all in a link tree below. Join the Discord too. It's a blast hanging out there. I'll probably be live doing some live building of this, or maybe even video editing, I don't know, in the Discord voice channels as well. So hop on the Discord as well too. If you did want to support the channel and support the content over here, we have a Patreon which gets you early access. I'm going to be adding some more fun perks to it, but currently the best I can offer is early access to the videos as well. So you can get that over on Patreon. And speaking of Patreon as well, I want to thank the Patreon and Coffee subscribers: Disney Dude, Shane Turner, Fish Bob, Jerry Russell, William Epps, the Yed _ Anthropophagic, the Jonah, who I do a podcast with, also in the description below, and Comrade Karen. Thank you all so heckin' much for the support. It means the absolute world to me. I want you all to know that no matter what life throws at you, you matter, you are loved, you have a purpose. I'm a Canadian Moose, and I will catch you all in the next video. Happy building, eh?